Just want to thank Mr. Rooney, the whole Rooney family, Kevin Colbert, Coach Tomlin, Omar Khan, everybody that had a hand in this negotiation process. And more than anything, I just also want to extend a thank you to my teammates. I know it's been tough to watch me on the sidelines, and like I said when I got drafted here 4 years ago, it is my mission to make everybody in this room, everybody over here, and prove them right, that they made the right decision. I'm so happy to be here in the city of Pittsburgh for many, many more years to come, and a Super Bowl is definitely a true possibility, and I believe that in my heart of hearts, and I'm going to do absolutely everything I possibly can to make that happen and to bring as many people along with me as I do that.
And good evening, good afternoon, folks, and getting ready for another edition here of the Man of Steel podcast right now. Of course, yours truly, host Charles Prodigy Richey right now, as we get into a newer version going into game days here on Sundays. It is now Man of Steel presents Show Blitz, which will be the new pre- and post-game show for all your Pittsburgh Steelers games going into this year. And you just heard the audio right there by TJ Watt. I mean, his excitement and optimism for this season, being refreshed clearly, as you could tell, getting his new contract extension, which will take him around through the 2025 season. Once again, he is not only the top paid player as defensive position, but as far as like edge rusher, he makes most annual at $28 million. He's also got the most in per annual per year. And of course, for as far as like guaranteed money for this season, he has got the most and guaranteed at $80 million. One happy man right there. As we look at it once again, just recap the numbers here for this year. He has a $35 million signing bonus. And then the first 3 years of his salary, which is guaranteed, that totals up to $45 million, making the total overall guaranteed money and $80 million, $35 million in sign bonus once again. And of course, $45 million for the guaranteed, which is guaranteed in the first 3 years. So way to go once again. He is all set to go as we're getting ready to count down and get ready for the Pittsburgh Steelers as they open up in their opening game today here, as we look at it for everything that has been happening. And for this game, as they'll be looking at it right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers going into this game right now, as we look at it, they've been on a 2-game losing streak versus the Buffalo Bills, as they will be entering Highmark Stadium, home of the Buffalo Bills right now. I will say the last 2 games, to be quite frankly, have been a little bit questionable, to be honest with you, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the Bills got a great defense, a team that could force a lot of turnovers right there from the defensive side of the ball. But like I said, you also got to realize these factors. 2 years ago, they were without Ben Roethlisberger. I really like to see how much different that game would be if Devin Hodges is not quarterbacking in that game. Remember, he was taking over a struggling Mason Rudolph late in the season right there, which Tomlin had a little bit more confidence in. Mason Rudolph was definitely going through confidence issues down that stretch since that game versus the Bengals, but also when he got whacked upside the head by Myles Garrett, that nasty helmet collision on Thursday Night Football. And I mean, you saw it right there. So I really beg to differ right there, because that was a game right there in 2019 where the Steelers near at least minimal win 2 out of their 3 games, plus a little bit of help, just even clinch the playoffs after starting off 0-3. When you consider that season, second game of the season, the home opener, where we see Ben Roethlisberger go to the sidelines at the end of the first half to find out he had some pain in his elbow, find out the next day, heartbreakingly enough, he is lost for the season right now. As far as with TJ Watt right now, as we look at right now, he has barely practiced with the team this past week. I mean, remember, he's been keeping himself in shape. It's not like he hasn't been being a couch potato throughout this whole process. I mean, he's even said right now that it was always refreshing when his agent or someone would text him showing him what people were saying in the media or what people said to him when he walked past him in the hallway. Uh, he said everything from teammates to the people in the cafeteria, the trainers and everything. I'm just overwhelmed with how many people have shown their support, and I'm very thankful for it. I mean, of course, I mean, when you read between the lines there too, I'm not saying he's making aggressions, but we as Steeler fans right there who know a similar situation like this once upon a time with Le'Veon Bell. Remember, he was going to be set to be making a lot more money with the Steelers annually. They tried offering a little bit in guaranteed money, was not satisfied with the guaranteed money that was being offered. Yet alone, he was looking for a fully guaranteed contract. Steelers placed a tag on him in 2018 in hopes of trying to get to a new deal for him. But as we all remember that story right there, as it turned out, both sides struck out right there. He ended up deciding to wait through like the 10th game of the season to decide if he was going to sign the franchise tag or not. Him and his agent filed flaw in the CBA where they actually, a loophole, I should say, excuse me, where he could be able to sit out for the rest of the season and still become an unrestricted free agent in 2019. So TJ Watt, I mean, listen, I mean, this guy's done it the right way right here. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, for him, I mean, this is a guy right here, a cat. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, TJ Watt, when you really pull up, I mean, what he means, I mean, he's did everything the right way. It's a tough position right there. When you think about what he's had to do here, and one of the things that was also asked to him too, I mean, when we looked at it, I mean, like they asked him too. I mean, what if you would have played the season of his final year on his rookie deal at $0.089 million, or would he have? There have been questions if he would have been sitting out. He did make the comment, I'm glad we didn't get to that point. When asked if he would be considered sitting out the games. And then you also heard from Mike Tomlin, too. There's a sense of relief, to be quite honest with you. We could get focused on this. Not that we haven't been, but in circumstances like this, I feel a bunch of questions regarding it. And I like to focus my energies on the Buffalo Bills. He's deserving. We're glad to have him. It's good for all parties involved. So there you have it right there. I mean, the Steelers are going to be opening up their 7th straight season on the road this year. And as far as road record overall with Mike Tomlin and his overall tenure, they're 4-4-1 when opening on the road to start the season. Since 2015, 3-2-1. Of course, those two losses being right there twice against the New England Patriots, plus a tie with the Cleveland Browns, which happened 3 years ago. And there we have it right there. So thoughts real quick. Now TJ Watt is signed. How many people you Steeler Nation got a little concern right now that you're going to be holding your breath for a little bit of rust right now going into this game? I mean, if we had to see some of those snaps being monitored, I would like to think. I mean, forget too. I mean, you're also going to be having right now. I mean, for this year. I mean, which does not really help matters a lot either when you really look at it. As far as this year, I mean, look at like the injured reserve to start off the year, and I think that's for like the first 3 games. I want to say. I mean, you got Stephon Tuitt right now, defensive end. I mean, more or less, I think he was dealing with a legitimate injury, as confirmed by Keith Butler throughout this offseason. I think it was a knee injury, but I mean, the loss of his brother right there too. I mean, basically, and. I mean, he's been going for like a tumultuous year right now, as he was killed by a hit and run driver back in June, and right here, and it was you can only imagine what's going on with him and his family right now as he's trying to carry himself in a better spot. All prayers and love go with him. But before we go any further, too, before I feel to mention anything else further. Salute to all the fire department, the people who are on guard, the police officers, and all the people overseas who sacrificed a huge chunk of their life to be fighting in Iraq for 20-year anniversary yesterday of 9/11, the crashing of the Twin Towers right there. What it did for us as a country, as far as like security awareness, I guess you could say. And just to show you, I mean, like things could tragically happen. Even us, it was an eye opener. So I want to just send my continued prayers, love, condolences to those people, the people who were killed in that horrific plane crash that crashed into both towers, and the people who were inside that building trying to fight their way out of there or to avoid that accident. Thoughts and prayers are with you all. Definitely a day to remember, but one to forget. I mean, when you look at all the violence right there, to me, that was doomsday right there. I was a senior in high school. A big shout out to the men and women who went overseas, where it's under the Bush administration, of Barack Obama and Trump. And of course, I mean, Joe Biden, I mean, having the guts to finally and do the right thing, bring most of these people home overseas. So there you have it right there.